Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Winding Stairs. I greatly appreciate your patience and your attendance. Tonight, I have the privilege of having with me Brother Joseph James, who is the executive producer and one of the stars of the movie The Freemason. And Brother Joseph, thank you for taking the time to speak with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much. I also appreciate everyone's patience. We've been trying to get this Google Plus working for about 30 minutes now. So anyway, I apologize, and we'll make the interview worth your time.
That's perfectly fine. One thing that people have been waiting for a long time, not everybody has had a chance of watching the movie because it hasn't yet been available in all markets. But can you tell us a little bit more about that initial release in the theaters and how that experience went for you?
Yeah, we had an initial world premiere in Salt Lake City, where I live and where the movie was filmed, just about 10 minutes from the historic Salt Lake Masonic Temple, where we were able to film scenes inside of the initiation rooms. One of the first times in history a film crew's ever had that kind of access, and so we're grateful for all the brothers at the Salt Lake Scottish Rite Temple that allowed us to do that. And the premiere went great. It was a snowy evening. People were sliding off the roads. In fact, it was too dangerous to drive, and a lot of people just didn't leave their house that night. But we still had a big turnout of over 300 people of all walks of life. Some Freemasons, some just general members of the public. Some teenagers, and it just went really well. So after that, we did a test release in Salt Lake City as well, where we put it into 3 different theaters, and we got some really good feedback from that as well, and some pretty good numbers, and the film produced a profit. So it was a great experience for me to learn how theatrical distribution works, and it's really a whole different ballgame than going straight to DVD and selling on digital platforms.
Most definitely. We have been following, of course, the progress of the film, and we're very excited that it's taking the shape that it has in it, that now is ramping up to reach more and more people. But before we go into the details of that, how long have you been working on this film?
Over a year now. We shot the film last April, and we shot the movie in 12 days. Usually a script is about 90 pages, and each page is about a minute of a movie. And so we were shooting an average of 10 pages a day, which is pretty much as high as it gets. I've heard of people shooting 12 or 13 pages, but it was really a pedal to the metal type atmosphere, and I credit Sean Astin a lot for that, because his intensity as a person, I mean, he really gets into it. I've made movies with lots of stars, and a lot of them are pretty lackadaisical, and they show up and get their paycheck, and to them it's just a 9-to-5 job. But Sean, this movie became part of him, and when he started writing in scenes, I saw him getting emotionally invested. And some of the best scenes in the movie are scenes that he would write in literally on the spot or the night before, and so it was just quite an experience to see Masonry engulf him for that short period of time.
That's great. Now, it's for those of you who are watching the program and are not very familiar who Sean Astin is, I'm sure you've seen him. It is if you look behind Brother Joseph, Sean Astin is one of the main characters of the Lord of the Rings. For those of you that are of children of the 80s, like like some of us, you'll remember him from Goonies, right? And we have a privilege now that we have a brother who is a filmmaker and has had a privilege to work with an actor of such caliber. So it's great to hear that not only did he participate in the movie, and like you say, it wasn't like an actor that came in, did, and left. He really became invested in the film to the point of executive producer. Am I right?
Yeah, that's correct. He hasn't been the executive producer of a film for quite a while, many years, and I think that when he came onto the project, he was just planning on fulfilling his role, doing the best he can, and moving on. And about 3 or 4 days into the film, he pulled me aside and he said, Joseph, this is something special, and it really stemmed from his deep knowledge of Freemasonry. He got a degree from UCLA, I think in English, and he had written some papers about Freemasonry, and he knew about the founding fathers being Freemasons, and et cetera, et cetera, and then also his wife's father was a Freemason, and he was able to talk a little bit about Freemasonry whenever his wife's dad would kind of allow it and kind of go into it. And so he had a few really powerful moments. I think he since has passed away, but that was part of the reason Sean said yes to the script, is because he just saw how much potential it had. So he pulled me aside and he said, Joseph, I would really be honored if you would give me an executive producer credit, not so that I can have any control over the movie, or I'm not going to invest any money or anything. I would be proud and honored to have that title, because I really feel like if you let me roll up my sleeves and help with a lot of the decision making for the rest of the shoot, we're going to increase the value of this film substantially, and I think it'll be out there for a long time, showing what Freemasonry really is, not what people think it is.
That says a lot, in my opinion, of what the quality of the production on its entirety is. For someone that has the reputation that this man has, to actually put his name on it, it shows the faith that he had in the project, and how well he accepted it. So I congratulate you on that. That's very fortunate to have that. But there are other indicators that the film has merits like this. For example, your film was nominated for several awards in the film festival in Utah. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, there's a gentleman named Warren Workman who he hosts what's called the Filmed in Utah Awards, and they are basically Utah's version of the Oscars. And Utah has this long film history that goes all the way back to John Wayne, and filming and all the cowboy westerns in the 50s, and all the way up until now. They film big mega blockbuster movies all over the state all the time. In fact, the opening scene of National Treasure, when that pirate ship blows up, was filmed out here. So sometimes they'll come out and just film like a part of a big $100 million movie. And so these awards honor mostly independent films, but also any film or television show or pilot, or anything that throughout the industry. And so our film was nominated in what we call the Big Five, which is Best Actor, Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Overall Picture. And so just being nominated in those 5 categories was an honor. And then Sean won Best Actor, and then Richard Dutcher, who is a famous filmmaker and actor here in Utah, is probably the most accomplished filmmaker and actor from Utah. He's had several highly successful films, and has been doing it for about 2 decades. And he plays the Grand Master, which was one of the key roles in the movie, and so he got Best Supporting Actor, and I think both of them really deserved it.
That's excellent. Yeah, he's a phenomenal actor. I have to thank you, because you gave me an advance copy of the movie even before it had all the final edits. So I did watch the movie. I had a very nice moment of relaxation, putting all my senses to watch the movie, and I was really impressed. I was really impressed, and I remember a lot of scenes where um, Mr. Dutcher was. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt to me like he really was a Mason and he really was a Grandmaster. So he was very convincing in the way that he played the role. I was surprised later on to find out that he wasn't a Mason, um, and I have actually contacted him through Facebook, and he expressed how honored he felt to be part of the film itself. So I thought that reflected on his acting, that he had that respect for the position, that he had the role that he had in the film. Now the other thing I wanted to ask you, there are a lot of, speaking about Mr. Dutcher, there's a part of the movie where one man, I think it's your character that asks him, how does one become a Mason? And his answer is, you ask one. What do you think that the audience, the people that watch the movie, what do you think they're going to get from scenes like that?
Well, that is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. It's myself and Richard Dutcher and Cyrus, who is the freelance reporter who is hired to find the killer, and who is kind of exploring and learning about Freemasonry. And I play the senior warden. So Richard and I are inside the lodge. He comes in, and there was somebody is killed, and they had something in their fist, a letter that has to do with Hiram Abiff. So he asks us, who's this Hiram Abiff character, and Richard starts to explain, who Hiram Abiff is, as far as what we learn in our Masonic degrees, and so then that question is the question I get asked more than any other question ever since I've become a Freemason. Is how do you become a Freemason? People think you get recruited, or they think that you have to have a family member that's involved that brings you in, and all of it is just it's just simply not true. You just simply have to ask. And so I really made sure that scene was in there, and that moment was we shot that scene over and over to make sure it was perfect, because I hope that a lot of people watching it will really grasp that, and that we have the To Be One Ask One campaign that's been out there for a long time, and people see the stickers on somebody's car or something, but it still doesn't really click sometimes. And so we really wanted to spell it out for everyone, and we wanted to spell out to the audience as much as we could without revealing too much, who Hiram Abiff is.
I think it was crucial that by including that in the film, you actually give an opportunity to people that are not Masons to perhaps even consider the thought of what the process is. And I think this is a film that brothers and people interested in Freemasonry, or even people interested in just a good mystery, they're going to be captivated by it. The other thing I wanted to ask you was regarding, what do you think Masons can get out of watching this film?
It is filled with Masonic symbolism from start to finish. I always tell everyone that, in most people's opinion, it is the most comprehensive film about Freemasonry ever made. We know that Angels and Demons and Da Vinci Code and National Treasure, I mean, they touch upon Freemasonry here or there, or they might have a little clue that they throw in, or they mention it, but this movie is entirely about mostly the Blue Lodges, Blue Lodge Freemasonry from start to finish. And to actually have Richard Dutcher playing a real Grandmaster, and then to have me, my character's name is Jericho Beck, playing a senior warden, and actually filming inside real lodges where we had real aprons. We showed as much of an entered apprentice degree as I felt comfortable with, and based off all the feedback from everybody who has seen it, I didn't cross any lines. I got right there, on the line, which is what I wanted to do, because we want to show the public as much as we can. And So what they have to get out of it is that the entire movie, they're going to be getting all of these little pieces of symbolism, and that all culminate and add up at the very end. Whereas an average person is going to have to watch it several times and maybe even do some Masonic research to really put all the pieces together. But there was nothing more fulfilling than when we had our world premiere. People were funneling out of the movie theater, and we were pulling various people aside and interviewing them. And I remember interviewing a 16-year-old teenage girl whose father was a Freemason, and she said, she's been going to these meetings ever since I can remember, and sometimes I go to a dinner or like a shrine parade or whatever, and I had no idea what they do, and it kind of scared me. But now that I've seen it, I realize that it's just basic initiations that go back a long ways, and that it was, I could just tell by her tone of her voice that she finally got it and was actually excited about it, and she felt like she was in the know now, or she's like in the club, because she wasn't the kind of girl that was going to go pick up a Masonic book and read it through it to try to figure out what's going on.
No, that's great, because just like her story, I could imagine that many other people, as they watch it, they'll have those threads to connect. They'll be able to reach into their own life and remember, oh, my grandfather was a Mason. Now I have a little bit better idea of what he did. And for those that haven't watched the movie yet, it is not a documentary. It's a fictional story, a very intriguing one. It has a lot of mystery, it has a lot of complex relationships, but it does have this portrayal of Freemasonry as a respectable organization, where you can see that members of the fraternity have positions in all different aspects of life. Some people are in politics, other people are in law enforcement, etc. So I think it's exciting that it has the potential of getting people to have a more realistic idea of what Freemasonry is. Now, we have several questions coming in through the people that are watching live, and this is going to be related to the limited releases that have been happening since last year. I have Brother Richard Ingham from asking, is the movie going to be showing in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area? Do you have any plans for a limited release around that vicinity?
Yeah, I've actually talked with several brothers in that area, and what we're doing for limited releases is that a brother, or it could just be a general member of the public, it could be anybody. They simply just need to contact me, and usually we get about 150 to 300 people to fill up a theater, and we four-wall the theater, which in theater terms is just renting it basically. And so people can come in, and we charge $5 a ticket or $10 a ticket, whatever the ticket cost is. Simply reimburses me for the cost to rent the theater. I'm not making any money off of it, and we've been doing those all over the country. We did one in New York on Super Bowl Sunday that turned out really good, and so basically everybody out there that wants to see it in a movie theater with their brothers, with just having a public showing where anybody can show up, all they got to do is contact me. We pick out a theater. I send the movie out there. I send 10 or 20 free posters that they can give out. I'll sign some of them, and then in some cases I even send a prop from the movie that they can give out in a raffle for free, so that someone can actually hold a prop that, say, Sean Astin had in the movie or something. So I know that area is where Freemasonry pretty much started. It has some of the oldest lodges in the world, and so just get a hold of me. All my information is on the Facebook page, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you. I mean, the perfect example is there's a screening in Michigan on July 26th. And they went and they found a theater for only $250 for 2 hours, and they're going to get a couple hundred people to show up, and as soon as I'm reimbursed, I'll book it. I'll call and pay the $250. I'll send my movie out there, the posters. Once I just get reimbursed, they are going to split the profit with me, and they're giving the 50% of the profit to a local charity.
That's
Because
great.
just and then I got a text message this morning from brother Robert Johnson, who does Whence Came You, the radio show, and the Scottish Rite in Chicago wants to do the same thing, where they want to screen the movie, and whatever extra money comes in, we just give to charity. So there's a couple different ways to do it, and so it's definitely possible, and even in other countries. I have people in Nigeria working on a theatrical release. I've talked with some of the brothers in Australia that are in the Grand Line who want to do screenings out there, and then there's some people in England as well. So it's not just restricted to the United States. Anybody can make these happen anywhere around the world.
Excellent. That brings a good point, that the movie lends itself for an opportunity for lodges to not just raise awareness of Freemasonry, but also raise funds for their lodges. They could organize along with you, and I'll be providing contact information for you, so that they could email. Where can they email you if they would like to organize like a fundraiser or a screening of the film further?
Yeah, the easiest one is just the Freemason Movie at gmail.com.
Okay.
It's all one word, just the Freemason Movie at gmail.com, and they can just get right in touch with me directly. And I've had dozens and dozens of people call from everywhere, and some of them are able to put one together. Some of them have tried, and just it's a logistical obstacle to get that many people and organize it all. But I'll do everything in my power to make it happen. They just need to get the word out to their local lodges. So yeah. You can also call me on my cell phone as well. I mean, I don't answer numbers I don't know, but if you just leave a message, I'll get right back to you. And another cool thing that you'll probably hear if you call me is Sean Astin actually made a voicemail for me, and so
Nice.
so if you call my voicemail, it's going to say, "Hi, this is Sean Astin, and our movie The Freemason is out, so please go check it out. And by the way, leave a message for Joe while you're at it," something like that. So Sean's just a cool guy. I mean, so when people call me and then I call them back, they say, "How did you get Sean Astin to leave you a voicemail?" But I think it's just that's evidence of what kind of person he is. He's fun loving. He's just a normal down to earth guy. And so anyway,
that's really cool. We have a couple more questions coming in. We have, I guess the question went away. Oh, here we go. Frank asks, "I'm new to the craft and I'm looking forward to the movie. What is the best way to help promote the movie?"
The best way would be to go to the Facebook page. We have like the Facebook page. We have lots of pictures and information there. Follow us on Twitter, and then also we have several trailers. And so if you go to the website, you can grab one of the trailers, spread it through your social media, because once people see the trailer, I think they really see the quality of the film, and they kind of see the structure of it, and then also doing some of these public and private screenings is a really good way to do it. I mean, the guy up in Michigan, he's already contacted the local newspapers and different media outlets, and I have a degree in public relations, and so I can help you put together press releases. I provide all of the all the marketing material, the posters, the logo, everything in digital format that you could possibly need, and I'll help you market it as well. And what I'd really like to do is be able to go visit some lodges around the country. And so if you're, at one of the worshipful masters of a lodge, or a senior or junior warden, or if you're on the planning committee, you could have me actually come to your lodge. We could screen the movie, and then I can do a Q&A, and you can invite the local media and show them who we are as Masons, and they can write a story about it. And you can invite people who might be investigating, who are or it's really a great way to get guys who haven't been coming to lodge lately because they just get wrapped up in life and they're really busy. And instead of just having another stated meeting, or a run-of-the-mill, event, this is kind of a way to maybe get some guys back into the fold and get them around their brothers again. And that was my whole vision for all my Masonic movies, was just to energize the organization, to get rid of false perceptions. And with this movie, I think we finally have all the elements in place to be able to do that.
I agree. I definitely agree. We are reaching the 30-minute mark here, so to be respectful of your time, I really appreciate it. I'm going to start wrapping up, and in addition to, here's the way I look at it. This is a film, I'll tell you, the quality of the film, what I've been able to see, is something that is definitely worth watching in the theater. If you can get together a few brothers or a worshipful master, see if your district is interested in bringing it to your town, to your city, it will be ideal to have a screening there, and if possible to have Brother Joseph come down. Now, another way that, and this is one of the reasons we were doing this, is that we are announcing the availability of the DVD. So now, if brothers are interested in purchasing DVD copies, think about it. If you want to buy a copy for yourself, that is great. But also, lodges, if you're interested in buying various copies for your membership, or if you want to use those as gifts for different events, you can do so as well. The DVD is available right now. If you go to freemasonryart.com, you can purchase it through there. And also, it's available through the freemasonmovie.com, right?
Yeah.
So I encourage brothers to check out this movie. If you can, try to organize a screening locally, because I think it's worth having to see it in the big screen, and it can lend to more people finding out about Freemasonry and about the movie. I mean, we really I think it will be great if it can continue to reach more and more audiences. So without delay, brothers, go check it out. Go to freemasonryart.com. If you have any questions or any comments about opportunities to screen them locally, shoot an email to Brother Joseph at thefreemasonmovie@gmail.com. Brother Joseph, what other places can brothers reach you? Are you on Twitter or Facebook?
I'm sorry, it cut out. What was the question?
What other ways of reaching you do brothers have? Can they reach you on Twitter or Facebook? Any other social media?
Oh yeah. I have two Twitter handles. It's at Joseph James News or at Freemason Movie. Either one of those, and then the Facebook page is / the Freemason Movie, all one word. And so through those three, you can then connect to things like Instagram and the blog and some of the other platforms that we have. And then you have my cell phone and whatnot. So there's many different ways to get in touch with me. And if I don't get back to you, it means that somehow I missed the email or something like that. So sometimes you got to send like 2 or 3 emails or text me. but you're never going to be bothering me. So please don't think that. It's just that sometimes I just scan through emails and just overlook something, and then somebody thinks I didn't get back to them. So I really appreciate you having me on the show. I appreciate all the brethren out there who've supported this since the beginning, and it's a blessing to have other people helping me shoulder the burden, because for a while I felt like I was pulling the cart, by myself, and now I have brethren coming in and helping me, and I want to just thank everybody for that.
Excellent. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you again for the time, and I wish you continued success. I think this is going to be bigger than all of us can imagine. Every day it grows a little bit more, so I wish you continued success, brother. And thank you to everybody for watching this video and joining us in the live conversation. I hope that you give it a chance to check out the movie, and once you do, let us know what you think. If you've already watched the movie, on the comment section below, please do that. And if you have any questions, you can also put them there, and we'll do our very best to give you a good answer. All right. Thank you again, Brother Joseph, and we'll continue our journey up the winding stairs. Good night, everybody.